Hello and salutations, it's me Salty, and here I am again with 2 Cents Toys, and today I'm doing something a little bit different. We're going to compare a couple toys. It's going to be the Marvel Legends Beast versus the Diamond Select Beast. We're going to go over what's in the box, how they scale, points of articulation, their price points, availability, storage, all that jazz. And we're going to see who comes out on top. I'll try to keep my personal opinions to a minimum based on my preference of scale and all that. I'm just going to let it all speak for itself, and I'll let you decide down in the comments who you think won. And here we are. It is time for the showdown between the Marvel Legends Beast and the Diamond Select Beast. First, we're going to go over
what's in the box?
And what comes with them. They each get 2 extra hands, and the Marvel Legends comes with a Build-A-Figure piece, and the Diamond Select comes with this nice diorama. And I think that a diorama slightly outweighs a Build-A-Figure piece in this category. You get a nice way to display your figure. It can collapse and doesn't take up that much room if you choose not to use it. Where the Build-A-Figure piece, unless it's a really great Build-A-Figure, and I am looking forward to Caliban, you gotta buy a whole wave to get them, whereas you buy the Diamond Select and you get the display automatically. So I think this round is gonna go to the Diamond Select. And with that in mind, we're gonna move on to the articulation of these figures. Now, if you watch the previous 2 videos on each one, you'll see that the Diamond Select boasts 16 points of articulation. So we've got the head, 2 joints in the arm that come out and rotate, bicep swivel, single jointed elbow, swivel and pivot at the wrist, waist swivel, this hinge and swivel down here at the thigh, double jointed knees, and a slight rocker and pivot swivel down here at the ankle. So it equals out to 16. However, he's not super duper articulated. Like, he can move. I forgot the dumbbell joint, sorry. So he can move. He does have that articulation, but he doesn't move well. Now, if we count the articulation on the Marvel Legends Beast, we get the pivot swivel ball at the head, butterflies here at the shoulder, pivot at the shoulder, rotate at the shoulder, rotation here at the bicep, double jointed elbows, swivel pivot down here at the wrist. We get a dumbbell joint and ab crunch. We get the thigh joint. We get the thigh swivel, double jointed knee, forward facing rocker with a pivot down here at the ankle, and toe pivot. So he actually comes out at 17 points of articulation, and he can move. Watch the video. It'll be down in the description for both. He's more articulated than he is, and he has 1 additional point of articulation. So score 1 for Marvel Legends. Now, the scale, neither of these figures scale correctly according to the Marvel database. Neither of these figures scale correctly. This beast is either too tall or too short, and this beast is just too tall. According to the Marvel database, Beast is only 5'11". I'm not sure how or why. I always thought Beast was much taller than that, but that's his height according to the database. So this Beast is taller than the Deadpool, which is 6'2", and shorter than Colossus, who is 7'5" in his armored version, but not short enough. And this Beast is just much too tall across the board. I took a picture, I'll put it up here, of him next to my Winter Soldier. That's a Diamond Select, and you can see he just towers over him. So I'm calling that a draw on that one. Now, the price point, this is where it gets a little muddy, because the Marvel Legends Beast is only $18 to $20 retail, and he comes with the 2 hands and the Caliban head. So that's about the average price for Marvel Legend. They're across the board. Same thing with Diamond Select. Their prices are across the board, but with this Diamond Select, you get the 2 hands and the diorama. No further purchase is necessary. I mean, you technically don't have to do a further purchase for him unless you want to build the figure, but it gets a little washy. What's more important to you, the sculpt or articulation? If they look like the character that you know, do you want the diorama or not? So I'm inclined to give it to the Marvel Legend just because I like the articulation more. I know the sculpt, like all the fur here, is a little bit better, especially on the chest area. You don't get as much fur on Beast, but this one you get it all over. But articulation, to me personally, is more important, and the ability to really display him is more important, because you could make something like this yourself, or you don't even need it. So I'm going to leave that one up to you, what's more important to you, but I'm going to give the point to Marvel Legends just because I like the articulation more. And next we have availability. The Diamond Select is readily available everywhere online. It's averaging $21 to $26, anywhere in between. Average price I saw is around $24. But the Marvel Legend isn't necessarily readily available at this point. He's still in the process of coming out. Not everywhere has him yet. Some people are scalping him for $50, $60. I've seen him paired up with a Wolverine or a Forge for $70. But he's still available for pre-order on Amazon, at GameStop, all these various places, and he's retail. He's $20. So I'm going to give it to Diamond Select on readily available, because you can go and get him now for a fair price instead of having to pre-order and wait or pay out the nose. And now we come down to storage, as in moving, or if you want to put them back in the box or anything like that. Someone like myself who moves a lot, that's important. Once the Diamond Select is off the card, he's off the card. You could keep the card, keep the bubble, and tape it back shut and use that, but it takes up a lot of space. The Marvel Legend just comes in a box, and the clamshells, now how they design them, the clamshell just comes out of the box, so you could even just keep the clamshell if you wanted. So they both are repackageable. Like, technically he's repackageable, but it'd be a pain to break this down every time, because once these things get in, especially the longer one here, once that's in, it's a pain in the butt to take out, because you have to kind of keep swiveling it back and forth until it pops out, because it's a round peg going into a hexagonal shape or an octagonal shape. So I'm going to give this one to Marvel Legends, just because it's easy to pull out the clamshell, pop them in, and pop them back in the box, and it has a hinge, and it's self-contained again. This one, you're going to have to, both of them you're going to have to hold on to the box, but this one you're going to have to put them in there and kind of tape it back shut, and it's just that's more of a hassle than the Marvel Legend. So I'm going to give that one to Marvel Legends. And the final outcome is Diamond Select 2, Marvel Legends 3. Now, this is all a matter of opinion necessarily, especially some of these categories are kind of a gray area on what's really more important to you or what you think is easier. For me personally, I think the Marvel Legends beats this one out, especially when it comes to scale with this. I'm glad I got both. The Diamond Select is probably gonna go into a bin somewhere or something, because I don't really collect or display Diamond Select, so that is a handicap with him on that. But I think this beast scales better with this. So I'm glad I have this part, but I'm glad I have that figure. Nothing against Diamond Select in that regard. They're just not my preferred, scale, and the articulation's got to win every time with me. He's going to be my beast for the foreseeable future, probably up until, SH Figure Arts or Mezco or MoffX does a beast. But that's my personal preference. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. Follow us on social media. You can find us over on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. And you can find us on Instagram. We are 2 Cents Toys across all social medias. And let us know if you agree, if you disagree, which one you would pick, which one you would prefer, down in the comments. And as always, I'm Salty, signing off.